folks. Welcome to another podcast from the Zebra Lounge. With your Chi-Town Daily News Sports team, I'm Mike McGuire, and like everyone else, we're thinking and talking about the Chicago Bears. Boys, playoffs get ready to kick off Sunday. I know you can't wait. My question for you right now is, what scares you most about the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, I got to go with Shaun Alexander, although I have to admit, a few weeks ago I was a lot more bullish on Seattle than I am now. Watching them limp out of Dallas, which a game that they wouldn't have won if, Dallas didn't have Tyson Chandler holding kicks. Okay. They just did not look like the same team that they were. Obviously not last year, not even I thought they'd be. But that said, Shaun Alexander still has to scare you. Yeah. This is an all-pro running back.
Although he was limping in the fourth quarter pretty heavily. And another thing about Alexander, I know he's been hurt all year, but he's only topped the 100-yard mark twice this whole season. I mean, it's been a down year. Yeah, to me, he looks a little slower, at least getting started.
I agree. I think he does too. But we watched this Bears team give up 100 yards to some San Francisco douchebag.
And that guy was tough. Frank Gore's a dad. He's a badass.
Right.
A douchebag nevertheless.
Douchebag nonetheless. So I'm still worried about Alexander tearing us up.
I mean, I guess with Alexander, you can't not worry about him, but Hasselbeck is the one that worries me the most. I'm not looking at him and shivering, but he's a guy that's been there. He had a good run last year. They have a lot of receivers. A lot of receivers are hurt. They have Jeremy Stevens, is what I like to call him.
I guess my biggest fear is kind of an offshoot of yours there, and that's their multi-receiver set. So they'll bring out 3 and 4 wide receivers all day, and also then have Stevens cutting down the seam or doing a little out. He's all, they got a lot of weapons, and the guy you're bringing up, Matt Hasselbeck, he knows how to pick at a scab. So jumping into the Bears then, what scares you most about the Chicago Bears going into Sunday?
For me, it's Lovie Smith not having a quick hook on Rex Grossman. I feel like Grossman should be out there for 2 series, maybe not 2 series, but if he sucks it up, he throws a few picks, get him out of there, bring Greasy in. You can start Rex again in the conference championship game, but you can't let him play a whole game if he's not doing it. And I don't think Lovie will do it. I think he'll stick with him.
No sense losing a fight while you still got bullets in the chamber. Amen.
I mean, Rex, I guess. It's hard not to. He's definitely the most untested up and down quarterback left in the playoffs, and that's scary.
And the Florida Gators won the title last week. He might be distracted. He might be out partying.
Who knows? I mean, with Rex, you never know.
I hope that he is focused.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would say the one other thing for me, the Bears pass rush. I'm a little worried about that. I mean, their ends, other than Mark Anderson, who has to start, has not done a whole lot. They had a great pass rush against Seattle when they whooped them back the week before.
Tommy Harris, absolutely.
So I'm a little worried about that. Walter Jones is a tough guy to get around.
Absolutely.
If we put pressure on Matt Hasselbeck, we'll kill you.
And my biggest concern is the secondary. With Tillman and Vasher playing together in the same defensive backfield for the first time since early December, Todd Johnson coming back. That's a group that's untested, hasn't played a lot together. There's going to be, with the amount of multi-receiver sets that Seattle throws at you, I'm worried that those guys are going to be a little rusty just to step off.
And that really dovetails with the pass rush. I mean, you get a good pass rush, that's secondary's best friend. So,
absolutely. I mean, they go hand in hand. But in the first half, what if they're healthy and they're doing good? What if that stamina heads south in the second half? And that's when, Matt Hasselbeck starts to pick them apart. So, boiling it down, who's going to win Sunday, Mr. Seidler?
Bears.
I
mean, I think everyone's been talking like we're so scared of the Bears, and then push comes to shove, everyone's like, well, we should still win this game. It's Seattle. It's not a great team. I like the Bears.
I do think they'll beat the Seahawks.
Yeah. I think they're going to beat the Seahawks. The NFC right now, the Seahawks included, the Bears included too, is very mediocre. The Bears look to me like the best of a mediocre group, and I think they're going to roll on Sunday, or at least get that win. So, for Mike and Andrew, I'm Mike saying go Bears, let's get it done.